And hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I have Adam DiLeo here with me from Difficult Terrain, a new D&D live stream that will be featured exclusively on Twitch at 20-sided TV. My name is Lauren Bilanko. You can see my cat here in the background, a little shadow of a cat. But we are really, really excited for the launch of this new D&D series, and so in order to get you all super hyped up about it, I am going to rapid fire ask some questions to Adam.
Let's do it.
Adam,
Yeah,
are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So tell us two things we should know about you, Tom, and the Difficult Terrain crew, and one thing we probably shouldn't.
Okay. So wait, like two things about each. All right, that's all right. So two things you should know about me. I am a lifelong role-playing game player. Since I would say I was about maybe 10 years old at summer camp, someone had a Star Wars RPG, and I was like, just kind of like, it was like one of those cartoons where like there's like a visible smell line, and like the cartoon character just like follows it with his nose. That was me. Somehow I just found it, and I sat there and I played it. That's all I did. And then I found Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I just that was it. That was the end. The second thing you should know about me is I am a literal rules lawyer. Like I literally, that's my job. I'm a lawyer, so I love the rules. Like when it comes to like rule books, I am just it makes it's like erotic for me, and I can't get enough of it. Two things you should know about Tom. Tom is among the top three smartest people I've ever met. He is also, I would say, he's also a polymath. He is an incredible musician. He's also a brilliant writer, and he's also really funny. So Tom has a lot going on. I'm just kind of riding Tom's coattails, really, is what you should know about that. Maybe that's the thing you shouldn't know. And what you should know about the cast is they are, I mean, just they are effing incredible. We've got Soren Kissel, who is like this professional comedy writer who is just one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's just so witty. It's disgusting. Like every time you're like, you hear something, you're like, oh, I have a funny joke I could respond to that with. Before you form it in your mind, he's already said it because he's that funny. Danielle Cohn is an incredible performer, and I'm so mad that we didn't get her to play a bard because she has a gorgeous singing voice, and I was hoping she'd pick one, but she didn't. But
Season
it's
two.
okay because
Season two.
yeah, season two. But I mean, like the characters she does have are just so distinct and so wonderful. Pontius Hanzo Daga is the chillest person in the whole cast. He just kind of sits there, like, and then he just busts out with this thing that nobody saw coming. Like, oh, my character has a fishing rod that's also a magical whip, and I'm going to try and grab. Like, there's a moment like toward in the middle of the season where I had this huge bad guy, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna wreck them. And Hans just uses this whip to like disarm him like 4 times in a row, and just totally negates him. So no, Hans is legit. He knows what he's doing. Carla is hilarious. She is uh, her characters, like she goes to the wall with every character, and they're all so different and so funny. And she's just so like lovable. All of her characters, even the ones that aren't lovable, like the way that she portrays them is so lovable. Maximilian Clark is my kind of guy because he is an uber nerd who like he gets into the nerd side of every character. Like he has a druid, and this druid's thing is explaining that like nuances of every animal that he wild shapes into or makes into a familiar. He's like, oh, well, you know, a funny thing about eagles, like he just goes off, like this is just who he is. He just prepared it. Also, another thing about Maximilian is that he did all the editing on the episodes. So he is not only a talented performer, but he's also really talented behind the camera. Did I get through the whole cast? I feel like I might be no. Well, I think I got them all. And just so we're being fair, we also have Hiram McLaren Becker, who is an awesome guy who did all of our video recording stuff. He had the whole setup. He is another uber nerd who loves D&D, and we got him because Dave Haskell, who is our associate producer, met him in a copy shop while Dave was copying D&D maps. And Hiram saw him doing it. He was like, hey, man, what are you doing? You DMing? And they got to talking, and he gave him his business card. And Dave gave it to me, and I reached out. And Hiram was like, yeah, let's meet at a bar. So we go to this bar that's like halfway between where we both live. And he's like, so I told him about the show, and I was thinking like maybe this guy will give us like some tips or some pointers or whatever. And he's like, no, I think, yeah, I can do that with you. And so like he just came on board, and that was amazing. Dave Haskell, also another polymath who is just like, he's an amazing dungeon master. He is super good. Like he plays like 7 different instruments. He teaches his kid all these musical instruments. He's always sending us videos of like, oh, here's my 3-year-old playing guitar. And then there's Lauren Bilanko, who, in addition to being a business owner who survived the COVID pandemic with her business intact, is also becoming a master of the Twitch streams. So there's I don't know, that's like 12 things about everybody.
Oh
Let's
man,
see.
I know. I have so much.
One thing.
Sorry. I was
No,
gonna
no.
say I just wanted to add in there that also this is all happening kind of because of Hiram also.
Oh yeah, totally. I
Because
forgot about
I
that.
know
Yeah,
Hiram
yeah,
from my friend Deepak. Through my friend Deepak,
yep,
they used to have a
yep,
comedy show together from like way back in the day. And so like I've known Hiram for years, and he's like, "Hey, can
yep,
we use your space to shoot?" I was like, "Of course."
yep.
So
We had another space lined up, and we did like a site visit with cameras and stuff to like see how we would set it up, but it was much smaller. It was much less conducive. And also it was not a role-playing game focused space. It was like a gaming space, which is it's an awesome space. It's a great store. And they were super nice to us. But Hiram's like, oh, you should talk to Lauren at 20-Sided Store. And we're like, you know Lauren? He's like, yeah, and my friend Deepak knows her. So that was serendipitous. It really
yeah,
worked out well. Yeah.
awesome.
Wait, do I still owe you something you shouldn't know?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I want. This is
Um,
like the dirt, the good gossip, you
the
know.
the good dirt. All right. So I would say the good dirt that I shouldn't tell you is that me and Tom probably so far have spent like out of pocket like $4,000 just getting all this stuff together between like equipment and like buying food for everybody. Hey, honey, what's up? It's okay. Come here. You can say hi. Say hi.
Hello,
What's your
hello,
name?
hello.
Tell your name because we're recording this. What's your name? You don't want to say your name? You stuck your face in there. You got to tell them who you are. All right. Wow. Yeah, no, we pumped a lot of money into this because we really believe in it, and we feel like it's a unique concept in the D&D world where pretty much everything has been done. And we really sat down and thought, like, we actually spent a lot of weeks like trying to come up with something unique, and what we came up with was the idea of and it's Zeynep Tufekci is the social scientist who wrote this article about Game of Thrones and about why the early seasons were much more interesting than the later seasons. And it was because, according to her, it was told from multiple points of view. So it was sociological storytelling as opposed to personal. And then in the later seasons, whenever all the main characters died, spoilers, it narrows down to a few characters and you know who the protagonists are. So suddenly you go from this wide world to a much
This
narrower
wide
viewpoint.
world and with the
Yep.
sound effects and everything in the
Yeah,
background.
exactly. But her point was that it was much more interesting because you were getting a broad spectrum view of this world. And so we thought, how could we apply that to D&D? And we thought, what if we did actors, like actors who are good at dialect and doing different things? What if we could have them do multiple parties and we would cut between them the way that you do in a movie? So, I mean, if anybody ever says, "Oh, it's like Game of Thrones but D&D," like that would be the biggest compliment for us
Yeah.
because that's what we're aiming for.
Well, cool. Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. So, we're sort of in this renaissance of live D&D. So, would you say that is what makes difficult terrain special in your eyes, or is there something else that you want to kind of elaborate on about? Because I mean, you are doing something super unique with this kind of cutting back and forth and all the multiple characters. So kind of maybe tell us a little bit about that or what Difficult Terrain is about in general.
Yeah, sure. So it's um, I mean, we have two dungeon masters, which is something that other shows do out there, and but we use them because it's necessary. Because with 4 adventuring parties, the idea of one dungeon master keeping all that straight and keeping it moving in a timely manner is very difficult. So that's like the smallest thing that makes us different. But having a team of 5 really talented performers who can seamlessly switch from, one character who has a whole backstory, character sheet, motivations, and accent to another is something that's not been done before. Now, like a show like Critical Role, which obviously is the gold standard of all actual play series, those guys are incredible performers, and surely they could do this if they wanted to, but the idea of taking these people and asking them to create these backstories for multiple characters, and then also asking the audience to engage with 4 sets of different characters over the course of a season, I think is something that's I mean, actually I'm I don't mean to like toot a horn, but like we've spoken to a lot of people in the industry, and not one of them has come back and said, oh, it's like this. But like every one of them has been, like, wow, that is unique. So we feel pretty proud of coming up with something that's different in a space that is so well traveled. And the folks we got together to do it are just incredible. I mean, like Danielle and Soren and Maximilian and Carla and Hans are just amazing. And like there were just so many times where me and Tom would be like behind the DM screen, just writing messages to each other, like, wow, like that was amazing. And they're great. So yeah, we feel like we put together something pretty neat, and I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about the setting? Because I know you guys wrote this world, and it's like a total
Yeah,
custom world.
it is. It is. So it's the world of Odea, and essentially, it's a regular planet like any other, and there is a massive kind of supercontinent where a number of different nations kind of live in basic harmony, but they are racially divided, which is kind of an interesting take because it's not something that's baked into D&D, but it's something that we did because we wanted to encapsulate the societal and historic prejudices of these different countries. So you have like the nation of Ushtarak, which is historically orcish, and our orcs are not evil. They're not villains. They have their own society. Um, and you have the main country that we focus on, which is the Crown, and that's literally the name. It's just the Crown, um, and the story centers on the Crown and its efforts to recolonize an island continent called Akram, which disappeared 2.5 centuries ago. So it was you can think of it kind of like Australia, but this one had been colonized by all the different countries. But it suddenly vanished and everybody on it disappeared as well hundreds of years ago. And then suddenly it returns. And so in order to reestablish their colony there, the Crown sends a colony vessel because there's these ancient treaties that dictate who and how you can stake your claim there. And you have to do several things. The first thing is to have an actual functioning colony, like some kind of settlement. And you also have to seat a member of the royal family at a table called the pentabulary, which is like a 5-pointed kind of gear-shaped table. And literally, they have to literally be sitting in the table to maintain the claim. So it's kind of a race between the Crown and any other countries to get to that table first and stake their claim. And we focus in season 1 just on the Crown, but there are hints that other countries are on their way as well. So that's the
Awesome.
world, and
Cool.
it's got a lot going on.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. We're gonna have to get you in on the world building show for a little interview.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that'd be fun. Uh, So what else did I want to ask you? Oh, I guess give us a great spoiler or teaser to get us hooked. Like, is there a cool
Yeah.
monster we should be looking and thinking
Well, I
about
mean,
or
all right.
looking for?
So
Or I don't
I
know.
can
Just
give
give
you.
us
I mean,
something.
all right. So an easy teaser is something that's in the trailer, and in the first, literally the first episode. So there are four parties, and we kind of expand out. It starts with one or two, and then it kind of grows. But the biggest party, the like total, you know, like butt kicking, top notch party is the Onslaught Vanguard, and it's a team of five adventurers who are just world renowned heroes. They're in the epic tier. They're like level like 13, 14, 15. And they have been recruited to go on this mission to protect the king, like the crown king's daughter, who is her mission is to go sit on that pentabulary table. And in the very first episode, they meet a kraken. So you're going to see
Sick.
that they fight it, and it's a pretty spectacular fight. And the big spoiler is, I will say, in the season, which is 8 episodes, that is not their biggest fight.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Mm.
Cool, cool. Now I can't wait. I know it's like I've gotten to like see bits and pieces and overhear things coming in, but it's been so choppy that I'm so excited to watch along with all of our viewers. So tell us a little bit about how everybody's going to be able to when they're going to be able to watch Difficult Terrain, about why the format of the live stream, and like how we plan to kind of be communicating while the video is streaming and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, sure. So the plan is, and we were going to release a couple days ago yesterday on Sunday, and we were all ready to go. And then at the last minute, a couple of our associates were like, "Oh, hey, we might have a sponsorship or a partnership here. So can we delay for a few weeks and try to explore it?" And we're doing this whole thing. We're trying to solicit donations for the Roots Project, which is this amazing nonprofit that runs out of New Jersey and New York, that is dedicated to teaching high school kids about concepts of prejudice, privilege, and bias.
nice.
It's fantastic. And so if it means that we can get more eyeballs on the screen and more dollars in their coffers, we're like, yes, absolutely, we'll delay. So we're looking at delaying till probably like middle of July, something like that. But the plan is, when we do launch, it will be me and Tom, who is my co-creator, and really, like I said, I'm riding his coattails because he's a genius. We're gonna do like a live intro where we talk about the show, talk about Roots, talk about what's going on, and then we'll kick it over to the episode. And me and Tom and the cast will be in the chat, so we can like interact with people on Twitch. And then at the end of the episode, we'll kick it back to the live chat with me and Tom, so we can answer a few questions live, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's the
And and
there'll be a little tiny
hey,
pink flamingo.
cute. Who's that?
His name, that's Gilda, right? Or
Gilda.
Gilda. Yep.
Gilda.
Yep. Gildy.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
we'll see if Gilda comes and visits us some
Yeah,
more
and
and
yeah,
more
if we
streams.
get enough donations for Roots, I will
Yeah.
I will bring on my kids' stuffies.
Yeah, and it's going to be 8 episodes, so not just one. We're going to
Yep.
do
Yep.
this
8 episodes.
8
Yep.
episodes for season 1, and hopefully we'll leave everybody wanting more for
Yeah.
season
Totally.
2. So I think we should probably show everybody the trailer. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds awesome. I can't. I mean, I'm such a like a homer, but like I love watching it. It makes me so excited.
I know, and with all the tests I've watched the trailer, like I
I
think
know.
today alone I watched the trailer 6 times, and then I just kind of had it rolling in the background while I was doing other stuff because I kind of forgot, and it just was like fun. And I started to, every time I watched it, I started to notice like different, like I want everybody who's watching right now to really like pay attention if you can to like everybody's facial expressions and like all the little things that are happening like in the background with like whoever edited this. Is Maximilian edited
Oh,
this
this is
trailer.
Maximilian. Yeah, this is
The editing
Maximilian.
is so good. Like I thought that like some of the edits were all part of like one thing, but then I realized like people are wearing
No,
different outfits. Like he
no,
really cut together different parts from like different episodes and really made this trailer feel like an episode in and of itself. It's great.
That poor guy, he sat through all 8 episodes like 6 times each. He did such a good job. I mean, it's just, he really did a great job. So yeah, Maximilian Clark, Punching Up Productions is his company, and he did a fantastic job. So enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So so here we go. We're gonna roll it. Here goes the trailer, everyone.
Welcome to Difficult Terrain, the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play series where everything is 2 to 4 times harder than it needs to be. Sometimes 4 to 8 times harder.
Yes. We're talking 2 dungeon masters, and we are talking 5 players, each playing 3 or 4, or who knows, maybe more someday, characters.
We will have a little adventure together.
These are no ordinary travelers. These are the 5 members of the Onslaught Vanguard. I am dispatching a small team of scouts, Town Watch.
We have 4 Wonder Trap athletes, and all of a sudden, we have 5. And even that's a little suspicious if you ask me.
Jade, what in the world are you doing here?
Going to the lost continent?
The great thing about being in a new place is every route is the scenic route.
I have an idea, guys.
I propose a caper.
Well, what are we waiting for then?
What are your opinions on capital punishment?
Depends on the crime.
I just trust someone else will take care of it and just kind of like swagger off.
We deserve to know why you dragged us halfway across the earth to be pawed at by octopus birds, giant crabs.
You are looking at a kraken, one of the unfathomable titans of the deep, has arisen. In its fury, it is laying siege to the ships. I need the van to please roll initiative.
The first time I do this around people, they tend to scream,
Everyone remain calm!
Long sword of wounding out.
Radiant sunbolts.
Yeah, I'm gonna smite this guy. Takes the...
Faye, it's not full of blood, it's full of magic.
Hopefully Riley doesn't turn evil. Let's grab the hammer and see what happens. Sneak attack. Let him turn around.
He is walking on the water. Sir Boreoth is riding above the water. Dame Olga is flying above the water.
Great.
You are on the deck kind of hovering with wind blowing around you, and Bobwood is clinging to the back of the kraken.
Is anybody dead? Alright. That's my job for the day. Go back to bed.
And we cut. You actually step on something, and a big crumbling piece of the step falls down the stairs, making that stair, for later reference, difficult terrain.
There you go. We make it wherever we go.
All right, everyone. Yeah, hey, we're back. So what do you think? It's pretty amazing, right? Pretty awesome trailer.
Oh, I think it's amazing. I mean, again, Maximilian Clark just did a bang up job on that. I can't wait.
Yeah, so anyway, so check us out, 20-Sided TV on Twitch, Sundays at 9. We are going to be showing a couple cool behind-the-scenes stuff leading up to the launch of the first episode. So start carving out Sundays at 9 p.m. in your schedule and get ready for the premiere of Season 1 of Difficult Terrain. Is there any other ways that people can get a hold of you or learn more about Difficult Terrain between now and then?
God, yeah, so many. You can follow us on Twitter at DiffTerrain, DIFF Terrain. You can follow the same thing on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, I think, that's Difficult Terrain. You can search for it. I don't know Facebook. I don't even but yeah,
channels, there's stuff.
And also all of I think the trailer is on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and search for Difficult Terrain, you should find us without too much trouble. Yeah, that's it. I hope everybody can tune in.
Yeah, and then if you go to 20sidedstore.com, you can join our Discord, and we'll be making regular announcements there about streaming Difficult Terrain episodes every Sunday. So stay tuned, everyone. And
all right, thank you, Lauren.
This has been fun. See you later.